Well, folks, we have someone calling for 10.8% increase in home prices in 2025. The one and only great Lance Lambert has been on a mission to collect forecasts for 2025. And I'm happy to report that most of the forecasts have U.S. home prices going up somewhere between 1 and 4% in 2025. But there is an outlier. The outlier is Apollo Global Management. According to Apollo Global Management, U.S. home prices will see 10.8% increase in 2025. Now, let me be clear. That is not my call. My call happens to be far closer to Mortgage Bankers Association, which from memory calls for a 1.5% increase. Again, my theory, and my theory has been the same for several years, we are on a multi-year journey of flat home prices, right? History says we got most of our appreciation for the decade in the first 2.5 years. And in order for housing affordability to get better, we need time. We need time for incomes to rise. We need time for rates to fall. And with a flat or relatively flat home price, affordability will just naturally and slowly heal itself. Now, if we get 10.8% home price appreciation in 2025, that will be not good. It just will be not good. We are already at historically low levels of affordability. If we throw 10.8% on top of that, it means we might go to record low affordability. As of today, record affordability still strongly sits in 1981 and 1982, back when rates were in the high teens. But if we throw 10%, let's call it 11% on top of that, we will likely take out that record. Apollo Global Management, let's be clear, Global Management, did highlight 10 facts about the U.S. housing market. I noted them all down because it was interesting to think about, right? Because again, the U.S. housing market has some facts that kind of set up a potential environment where prices could jump. So number one, new home sales are getting smaller. In fact, Apollo Global Management highlighted that since 2016, the new homes are 12% smaller. Again, you've heard me say all the time, I believe one of the answers to affordable housing is smaller new homes. We haven't had a generational focus on smaller homes. We sort of skipped that and went McMansions. Number two, the median age, right? So the one in the middle of all home buyers today is 49. Back in 1981, again, when the affordability was at a record low, the average age was 31. That's an 18-year swing. Again, talking about how unaffordable it is today. Number three is their call. Their call is for an increase in 10.8% in 2025. Number four, 40% of U.S. homes don't have a mortgage. Walk down your street. 4 out of 10 homes don't have a mortgage. Number five, I've actually talked to a bunch of agents, some really, really high producers. I think something got missed in the numbers on this one. I think maybe there's a decimal point missing, or I don't know. I just, this one can't be right. It just logically doesn't make sense, but let's go through it. Number five, the average real estate agent closes 21 homes sales a year. Let's call it transactions, because every transaction actually has two sides. There's a buy side and a sell side. But for my 25 years experience, the average real estate agent doesn't do 21 transactions. And that's even taking into the word average, right? Again, we all get wrapped around average and median, and sometimes we get confused. Sometimes I miss it. When you say average real estate agent does 21, just think about what that means. You have to add up all the transactions. You have to add up all the agents. and you do simple division. That's average. It's not median, right? Because median, you would just line them up and pick the one in the middle. Well, I did a quick Google search, and according to Google, there's 2 million licensed agents. If we assume in 2020, what do we want to call it? 2024, there's 5 million transactions, which there won't be, but let's just assume. Let's assume 5 million transactions. Every transaction has two sides, so that's 10 million. If you divide 10 million by 2, you get 5 transactions, not 21. But hey, it's okay. It's one of their points. Why quibble? They got 5 more. Number 6, this one's wild. Wild. The average household equity is 73%. Said another way, the average debt load on a home is 27%. 27. Now, again, remember 40% of homes don't have mortgages. That helps skew the numbers, obviously. But again, people looking at the U.S. housing market and saying the consumer is stretched or this is 2006 on repeat don't know what they're talking about. Number 7, 36% of Americans say if they were to move, they would be forced to rent. Again, this talks to me about the homeowner lock-in. Or said another way, the housing market is broken. We've essentially, for the decade, very likely for the decade, at least most of the decade, we have crushed, killed, stopped the move-up buyer. We have plenty of people sitting in their entry-level housing that will buy bunk beds as the kids grow or they get more. They will do additions. They'll add ADUs. They're stuck because they can't move, right? The payment would double or triple, or in some cases, quadruple. Number 8, more than half of existing mortgages. Now, remember, 40% have no mortgages. So we're only talking about the 60% that have mortgages. Half of those have mortgage rates below 4%. Number 9, 95% of all mortgages are 30-year fixed. We did not repeat the setup of GFC where there was a year, I think it was 2006, where 50.1% of mortgage origination were ARMs. And finally, the 10th setup about the U.S. housing market, according to Apollo Global Management, 63% of all outstanding mortgages were issued after 2018. That means a lot of people who did mortgages earlier did take advantage of the low rate environment via a rate and term, perhaps a cash out refi, things of that nature. So again, folks, most people are calling 2025 to be kind of a boring year, kind of 1 to 4% home prices. Again, this is median national home price. This is not your location. This is not your buy box. Again, real estate is local, so please understand your environment. But yes, Apollo Global Management sits on the outside looking in, saying, no, guys, you are all wrong. We're going double digits at 10.8%. Crazy. All right, let's talk about our school community, and I want to welcome 3 new school members, Yen, Brian, and Jeff. Thank you for joining the school community in the last 24 hours. Yesterday, we introduced you to the ladies of ORAT and the unicorn agent. We actually have 5 accountability / masterminds in school. Again, if you want to get around the right people, you want to find some folks to network with, build new friendships. That's what the school community is. People are posting wins, questions. You are truly missing out, not to mention all the extra education, your ability to network with some of the millionaires I bring on every week. You do need to join it. Again, yesterday, I want to shout out Amelia and Jen for running Ladies of ORAT, and I want to shout out Mike and Hunter for running Unicorn Agent. And of course, that's on top of Max and Frank and Jared for running weekly accountability calls. Again, you guys are amazing. Thank you for being go-givers and really helping the community move forward. We had a couple of senior level executives resign in the last 48 hours. Looks like Intel's CEO retired December 1st, which was yesterday. That came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody was talking about it. And then Santillis CEO resigned. Again, a car manufacturer that bought Chrysler resigned. Again, interesting to watch. The good old U.S. consumer does not disappoint. Does not disappoint. Yes, shoppers spent a record $10.8 billion online on Black Friday. That's according to Adobe Analytics. We got a couple of economic numbers to look at. ISM manufacturing, again, on numbers like this, we're looking for above or below 50, and then we will look at, is it improving or worsening? ISM manufacturing last time was 46.5, again, contraction. It was expected to get slightly better to 47.7, again, contracting, but slightly better. In reality, it came in at 48.4. So still contracting, heading towards 50, and better than expected. All right, what about construction spending? Construction spending came in at 0.4 month on month, up 5% year on year, and up 7.2% year to date. The estimate was for 0.2, and last month was 0.1. So again, construction spending going well. I do want to shout out the accountability group from yesterday. Jared, just giving you a taste of what they talked about. Thoughts on teaching middle school and high school kids about money and real estate. I'd love that idea. There was obviously discussions of the sub 2. There was a discussion of sub 2. There was talk of the Vegas event. I hope to see you all there. And lastly, let's talk about a question or a comment from our school community to give you a taste of what we talk about. This question came from Levi. I will basically shorten the question to the topic so we can talk about it. So Levi did the work. He went out and secured his first duplex. At the time of purchase, the property was vacant, so he needs to fill it up. And essentially, Levi was asking, hey, should I continue shopping? Should I continue looking for the next deal? Because I don't want to miss this opportunity. I am happy to report that everyone who replied basically had the same advice, which I gave, which was, Levi, congratulations, you're a landlord. Now, focus on being a landlord. We don't want to go too fast. We don't want to take on more than we can chew. You've gotten your first deal. Let's focus on that for the next 3 to 6 months. Let's make sure your numbers were right. Let's make sure you like being a landlord. Let's not add more risk. That said, I also closed with, don't stop looking. You have to remember that I believe real estate investing is a skill. That skill takes daily focus and daily execution. So just because you bought a duplex does not give you permission to stop looking. You must still look every day. If you don't, then you will have to learn the market all over again. And that's not okay. So at the end of the day, folks, people in our school community are posting real world questions, real world advice. We have everybody from 0 units and getting started to lots of units and lots of experience. We've got flippers. We've got all kinds of stuff in there. In fact, I have an idea for 2 more school community groups. I would love to see somebody or 2 people pick up out-of-state investing. I would love to get an out-of-state investing group going. Again, regularly scheduled calls, all of that. And number 2, I would love to see somebody pick up short-term rentals and medium-term rentals, STRs and MTRs. Again, I can only discuss the stuff I have experience with. So if you are experienced, if you are in the school community and you have the bandwidth for a weekly call, I would love to see a couple of people pick up out-of-state investing as well as short-term and medium-term. All right, folks, you have an amazing day. I hope you're well. We got 146 people watching. I want to thank you for being here each and every day. Take care. Keep being amazing. Later.